Why do I feel guilty of success? What a profound question that touches on something so many experience yet rarely discuss openly. That feeling of guilt around success is actually quite common, though we often think we're alone in experiencing it. At its core, guilt about success often stems from beliefs we've absorbed from our families, culture, and society. Beliefs that operate beneath our conscious awareness. Perhaps you were raised with messages like, money doesn't grow on trees, or people who have wealth must have taken advantage of others. These paradigms create an internal conflict when you begin to experience abundance. There's also what psychologists call survivor guilt. The uncomfortable feeling that arises when you're thriving while others you care about may be struggling. Your empathic nature feels the contrast between your experience and theirs, interpreting your success as somehow connected to their challenges. What's happening energetically is fascinating. Success represents expansion, but part of you may be programmed for safety rather than expansion. The familiar, even if it's limitation, feels safer to your primitive brain than the unknown territory of greater abundance. This creates an internal tug of war between your desire to grow and your wired pattern seeking homeostasis. Religious and cultural conditioning often reinforces this pattern, with narratives about the virtue of sacrifice and the spiritual danger of material success. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter heaven, and similar teachings become embedded in our collective consciousness, creating unconscious resistance to prosperity. To transform this pattern, begin by bringing compassionate awareness to these feelings without judgment. Your guilt doesn't make you ungrateful or unworthy. It simply highlights areas where your conscious desires and subconscious programming are misaligned. Next, consider this powerful reframe. What if your success actually creates more possibility for others, not less? When you thrive, you have more energy, resources, and inspiration to share. Your abundance doesn't diminish what's available to others. In fact, it can expand the field of possibility for everyone you touch. Neuroscience shows us that guilt activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Understanding this can help you recognize that these uncomfortable feelings aren't cosmic punishment for success, but rather your brain processing a perceived social threat based on old programming. A practice I highly recommend is creating a success ritual to consciously celebrate your achievements while setting the intention for how your prosperity will benefit others. This might include gratitude journaling about your accomplishments and visioning how your success creates positive ripples beyond yourself. This practice rewires your neural pathways to associate success with connection rather than separation. Remember too that guilt often shows up during transitions to greater abundance. It's part of the integration process as your identity expands to include new possibilities. Rather than resisting these feelings, recognize them as growing pains on your journey to becoming more of who you truly are. Thank you for watching. Let this message be a doorway, not a destination. You already carry what you're looking for. We're just helping you remember. If you want a question answering, then follow the page and then leave a comment and yours might be chosen. Until then, see you soon.